When looking back at my 5 long years of dealing with soul-crushing and debilitating health anxiety and general anxiety, I can now clearly see the things and habits that everybody must avoid or cut out of their life to break free from anxiety and completely recover. For most of us dealing with anxiety, our entire life seems to be completely consumed by our symptoms. I'm not even kidding here, but we are literally hooked by our physical and mental anxiety sensations. There's not a single moment when our brain is not actively scanning, or at the very least anticipating some kind of symptom to show up at some point. And because we are so damn scared of anything that seems slightly off with our bodies, we try so hard to be prepared when that monster eventually does show up. May that be because we want to mentally knock down the symptoms and talk our way out of it, and that way somehow beat anxiety. Or because we want to be prepared just in case this time it is actually not anxiety, but the real freaking deal. The real heart attack, stroke, or anything else that we pretty much knew all along that it was. So we are always prepared for that one big disastrous moment to happen. You can just imagine how much mental and most and for all physical strain that puts on us. Because worry and stress will put our body and mind into high alert mode. That strain, that tension can and will create the scariest symptoms. It's simply one big loop that you are in. Also, you have to stop seeking out comfort. Just think about the things that you are doing right now to make you feel better. I can almost guarantee that you tend to hop on Google and start binging and having these deep dive symptom study lessons once you feel a new sensation. You will find some relief here and there, but overall, you will always be worse off than before. Not only because you have been flushed down a rabbit hole of worst case scenarios, and now your brain is just flooded with what if questions. No, eventually the symptoms will always come back because you didn't deal with the anxiety itself. You simply gave yourself a small hit of dopamine and a quick rush of relief, but you're still anxious. Your body is still one big, tense, symptom-generating machine. Your brain is still this powerful symptom-detecting robot. It is just a recipe for disaster. The same thing goes for doctor visits or watching YouTube videos, forums and whatsoever. It's all the same thing. A quick but short-lived experience of relief, but nothing more, if you don't do anything on your side after. I don't want to say something which I find ridiculous, like you have to trust your doctor's diagnosis and then live your life, because I know that that is pretty much impossible. Your mind is clouded by anxiety, and that goes hand in hand with worst case scenario thinking and seeking out safety. That is just a fact. But listen very carefully here. What I want you to do instead is to mentally go back all the things that you have researched and all the doctors you have visited, all the tests you have done, all the people you have spoken to. Realize how much time and worry you have already put in up to this point. Think about your first panic attack. You probably had 2, maybe 3 symptoms that freaked you out, right? Take a mental picture of your state now. How many symptoms are you dealing with now? Or have you dealt with over time? That number is probably huge, and that one big one, the king of symptoms that keeps you worried the most, has probably also changed over time, correct? I know that because I have been there. You have to come to terms with and understand that changing symptoms, worsening symptoms, and even symptoms that feel like they happen completely out of the blue when you were not feeling anxious at all are a completely normal thing to go through with anxiety. We all go through them, and these are not sure indicators that there is a more serious issue with you. It just doesn't mean that. So after you've been cleared by your doctor once, twice, or 3 times, you will never just jump out of that doctor's office cured. You will have those what if questions, but you now also have that certainty that anxiety can be the cause of this all. So when you are faced with a big burst of fear from a symptom, you will naturally react heavily to it in those first few seconds. It's a normal anxiety reaction. You want to flee from a threat, but that threat is your own body. I want you to remember what you have already been through, what I have been through, and what so many others have been through. We are not alone with this. You know that you've been checked out and have gone through this so damn many times already. You can't ignore the symptom, but you can live with the symptom and the fear, or at least learn to live with it. You have tried everything, and that is all you can do now. This is the mentality you have to develop. You have to be willing to accept that this is how it is now, and go through the cycle over and over again. And always realizing that you come out okay on the other side, without the need to immediately run towards some external relief to make you feel better, or give you some kind of fake clarity. And eventually, you will have so much self-trust in your body and mind that you lose the fear completely. And one day the symptoms and anxiety vanish. You can check out this playlist for tips for your recovery journey.